Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your September 2020 podcast. Thanks for joining me. My name is Michelle. This is for Sun, Moon, Rising and Venus signs. Sagittarius, let's take a look at your oracle cards. It feels good. It feels like a journey. It feels like a journey that you don't have a map for. The uncharted sea. It feels like stepping out here. It feels like you're on a path which is uncharted. It feels like it's going to feel to you like no one's done this before. So it's like pioneer energy. So I'm not sure what you're going towards. It could be something which feels very, very new, like a new idea, treading new path. So it's going to feel like an adventure. It's going to feel good but scary at the same time. Now Sagittarius, we've got reaching for sunset. This is about letting things go, not clinging too hard to the past. There's a feeling here of letting things go gracefully, something that is some kind of inevitability. So there's loss around you, whatever that may mean. It could be a relationship, it could be something that you're moving on from in your career. But I do feel that with the spiral dance of the goddess, you recognize that life's a dance, that there's ups and downs, that things are moving, changing for you once again. It feels like, when we think about the spiral, we think about life, we think about creation. And with spiral dance of the goddess, I see this as you recognizing the twists and turns of life, knowing that from dark into light, light into dark, and that there's always constant change. So your recognition that change is inevitable, your recognition that stagnancy doesn't provide growth, you're the type of person here, Sagittarius, who will go and down that path that is unexpected, path that no one's walked before. Fearful, yes, but doing it anyway, and it feels to me like, I'm looking at this card, and for the benefit of my podcast listeners, it is a stormy sea here. There's a compass though at the bottom of the water, so there is a compass here. It feels like the compass is coming from within. The compass is within yourself. So something that you just know intuitively where to go. It feels like you're being guided here spiritually, and there's no map and you can't really put it into words where you're going, what you're doing, but it feels like you just know. You have this energy of just knowing. Now this boat up here, it feels a little bit hermit-like, I have to admit. There's nobody in this boat. There is a bird, a pelican, and there is a lantern. So that's why I'm getting that hermit-like energy. So it feels like solitude. It feels like a solitary journey, at least for a time. But it's in order for you to see. It's in order for you to gain even more wisdom. Like you need that, right, Sagittarius? But it feels like yet another experience which is going to provide you with next level growth and another part of your journey. So let's see. That when one door closes, another door opens. Could be you, Sagittarius, could be someone around you. If you're cross-watching, it could be a Sagittarian that you're dealing with. Bottom of the deck, I've got the Five of Cups. So there is some sadness here around a loss. It does feel, though, that there's a rainbow behind this hooded figure. So although there's sadness, I don't feel like it's going to be too long before you realize that there's something more for you to gain, something more for you to experience. The Three of Pentacles in reverse, it may be that there is a shift when it comes to the people that you're around or that you've been surrounding yourself with. If there hasn't been a feeling here of something that feels like is good teamwork, something that feels like you're being rewarded or recognized for your efforts, especially if it's a job, then I feel like you may be deciding to follow a more of an entrepreneurial kind of path, doing things your way. And the Seven of Cups in reverse seems to suggest that where you've had any kind of idea, fantasy or dreams about where you want to go in life, what you want to do, I do think that you're trying to bring this into reality, to manifest your goals and your dreams. It feels like some kind of spiritual energy that I'm picking up here, rebirth. So let's see. I've got the Three of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Wands in reverse. Now, Sagittarius, I am getting a sense here of being on the verge. So you're standing there on the shore. If we look at the Three of Wands there, you're standing at the shore, and there's this essence of waiting for your ships to come in. But I'm getting a sense here of perhaps realizing that whatever ships have come in the past was the wrong ship, or it didn't bring you what you required or what you needed. It feels like journey, it feels like growth, but there's an energy of waiting with that Ace of Wands in reverse, waiting for growth, waiting for your ships to come in. So it may be that you're just doing things very differently in your life at the moment for some Sagittarians, and that you have to kind of wait for other people to catch up to you, because you're the uncharted sea here. You're doing things very differently from other people. But I don't think it's going to be too long before people kind of recognize that and catch up with you. But it does feel like there's been some kind of delay here, especially when it comes to your success. Let's see. The Eight of Pentacles, well, that's you putting in the hard work. So you have been working really hard on yourself, on your career, on everything in your life. And it does feel like you've been mastering your craft. I feel like there's been this pause, this delay in your success in order for your skills to catch up. So I feel like you're reaching that point now where your skills are becoming more, I want to say, you're being more recognized for what you bring to the table, for the hard work and the effort that you put in, and you're just doing better work, basically. So where you're being seen as doing better work, but still continuing to learn your craft, because I see it's an ongoing energy here, then I feel like this delay that's around you, it feels like you're looking at this, you're looking at things a different way, you're looking at how to do things a different way, and I get a lot of motivation around you to do things differently. Even still, it feels like you're not afraid to do things differently, and you're not afraid of hard work, and you're not afraid to do things where there is hard work involved. Even though it's harder, you'd rather do that than compromise. I've got the Five of Swords. I do see that as an energy around you of, take no prisoners. Making sure that you are someone here who is someone, I get very strategic kind of energy around this, choosing your battles. If there's anything here that feels like you don't need to put the effort in, I get you turning your back and saying, you know what, I've got better things to do, I've got other priorities. So wherever you are in life here, Sagittarius, if anyone is coming at you with some kind of ego battle or some kind of issue there that you're feeling it's not worth your effort and time, I just feel you're turning your back to that and letting other people deal with their own stuff. You may have been someone in the past that would have rushed to assist, perhaps, but this time I feel like you're letting people fight their own battles, and I think that's a good thing. Now, in the past, I've got the Ten of Swords. I do feel like there's some kind of pain that you've been experiencing. I get it from this battle, and a lot of it has been, I feel, feeling like you're constantly struggling against, I feel like some kind of attack. It feels like attack. It feels like a lot of emotional wounding, a lot of hurt, a lot of these knives here. They've all been placed there in your back by various people, various situations, over a long period of time. I feel like you've been dealing with that for a long period of time. And you know what? At some point, I think you're just laying down and saying enough. Enough of that. I'm not going to take this anymore. And I feel like when it comes to people who are bringing ego stuff towards you, any kind of sabotage, if they're sabotaging you, if they're bringing their stuff to you, which you know is just going to continue to hold you back from your own success, I just see you saying, you know what, none of that anymore. None of it matters. It feels like that reaching an epiphany, like that dawning of the mind, where you realize you don't have to lie down and keep taking this. In the future, I've got the King of Swords. I love that. You know, that's you, that take no prisoners energy again. You know, I feel at the moment you're not really an emotional type of person, Sagittarius. You're really looking from a place of looking at things very logically. You're not getting all up in your feelings about stuff. So if people are playing on your feelings, it's not working. I feel that for you, you're taking this much more intellectual approach to things. You're deciding based on what people do, what they say, how they act, and almost like being like a judge and jury here. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I feel it's good. I feel it's you making choices that are coming from that detached energy. You know, there's no attachment here. So you're doing things that are correct, that are right, coming from a place of truth, honesty, and anyone who's bringing illusion to your doorstep, anyone who's telling you lies, anyone who's just trying to defeat you or bring you down, you're not having any part of it. Sagittarius, we've got the shadow down here, the devil. Interesting. You know, it feels like integration. And I was talking about integration, wasn't I, with this spiral dance of the goddess. This feels like integrating light and dark. You know, I was talking about ups and downs, light and dark, light and dark. It's recognizing that, you know, you're not always going to do the right thing. Neither are other people. Okay, so you're looking at it from recognizing other people's shadow side. So it's not like you're judging people from a place of believing everyone has to be, I want to say, on the same path as you, or doing things exactly the way that you want them to do. No, you recognize where someone has a shadow. You recognize that in other people because you see it in yourself. You've already done that dance. You've already walked that path. You've seen that other side of yourself. You've worked with it. You've experienced pain as a result of it. But I feel like that's over. I feel like that more dark night of the soul energy that you've been experiencing, Sagittarius, is coming to a completion. Because I get that shadow side has become integrated. Okay, let's have a look. I've got you here, the Queen of Swords. So I've got King and Queen of Swords here. So you're acting from that very... When it comes to your communication, it's really going to be your strong point in the month of September. So whatever this success is around you, you're really taking the ego out of it, and you're really coming from that place of enlightenment, standing in your own power. I get you being very truthful. I get you being very honest and direct and blunt. You're a Sagittarius. But not without recognizing the light and dark, right? So it's a kind of the perfect balance that I see here. Because sometimes when you look at King and Queen of Swords, they can be a little bit too judgmental. So I feel that the energy around you here is one that you need to make sure that you're bringing the dark energy as well. Spiral dance of the goddess. It's not just one thing or the other. It's that light and dark. And I feel for you, Sagittarius, it's about in your work making sure that that's reflected in anything that you do, that both that light side of yourself and that dark side of yourself. So it's not about doing something here which isn't true. It's about you being true to yourself, true to your beliefs, true to what you know, taking what you've learned from all of this Ten of Swords experience, that the problems, the things that you've dealt with in your life, that you've learned from, taking it to that King and Queen of Swords energy and communicating it, getting it out. Some of you could be counselors, some of you could be bloggers, you could be writers, you could be working in the communications field, and somehow success for you comes about from going down this darker road and integrating this shadow side into your own psyche, learning from it, seeing it in other people as well. So I feel like you really bring that light and dark energy to whatever you're doing here, and that's going to bring about a change for you. A change in how you deal with things overall, and a change in how you view your success. Whereas before you might have seen yourself as somehow stuck, a failure, not achieving the recognition, or not, I want to say, feeling like you're still waiting for those ships to come in, waiting for your success. I get this as you realizing, you know what, I'm just going to be me, because this is who I am, this is the truth. I'm a Sagittarian and I'm going to take this journey. Now, around you, we've got the moon in reverse, so it does feel to be like clarity. You're not going to be confused anymore about your path. I get you being not fearful of the path as well when we're talking about reaching for sunset. It's not about... Well, when we think about reaching for sunset, even that speaks to me of someone who isn't afraid of welcoming the darkness, right? So that's the thing, Sagittarius. Whatever you're doing here, you're welcoming the darkness. Whatever that means to you, this light and dark energy. Now, it could be that people around you are expecting you to be light all the time, but that isn't the truth. You're bringing reality. There's reality here. We're all light and dark. We all have that shadow side, and there's recognition in whatever you're doing here, the way that you're working, the way that you're communicating, and the way that you're living your life is a recognition that there is this light and dark, and that things aren't always rosy and rainbows and unicorns, but yet the flip side of that is they're not always that dark Ten of Swords either. The outcome is the Nine of Cups. Wow. So that's going to bring you contentment. It's going to bring you to a place of feeling like a wish is being fulfilled. It feels like pleasure. It feels like something that's going to bring you great happiness, joy. And it's you following your own path, doing it your way with the uncharted sea. Doing it, feeling like you're doing it alone, but you know what? I don't think you're really caring about that too much, to be honest with you. It feels like you know that although things may be a bit difficult at the moment, it seems like there's been some kind of ending around you. You know that's going to change, and I feel that the recognition here is going to bring you peace, bring you contentment. And because we're talking about the 9 here, it brings you on the verge of something which is going to feel really good for you. The 9 is just before the 10. The 9 is success, but it's not full completion. So it does feel like there is going to be success on your path. The path that you're walking is going to bring you success. And it feels like if you continue down this road, then eventually you're going to get to that Ten of Cups. but you're doing it your way, Sagittarius, and that's the best thing here. Not afraid to bring this light and dark energy into that you've recognized in life, what you've dealt with in life, bringing it into the way you interact with other people and the way that you go about. It's either a career, it could be, I'm not picking up love here, to be honest with you. It just feels like some kind of thought process, a mindset. You're going to see the value in what you've experienced. You're going to see it not as a failure. You're not going to see it as something that wasn't worth going and experiencing. You're going to see it as worth the experience because it's brought you to this place, which is eventually going to lead to success here. So let's see, I'm going to get a card from the Gateway Oracle. Message for Sagittarius, please. What does Sagittarius need to hear? Sagittarius, what does Sagittarius? Rising above. Yeah, it feels like you're rising above. You're seeing, you're not getting involved in all of the ego battles. You're not going to get involved in the pettiness, in people who are just trying to sabotage you, anyone who's saying things to you that are very low vibrational, coming from a place of ego and just trying to wound. I see you rising above that, showing I see this as you coming out very graceful kind of energy. It says, I see only beauty and grace. Well, yeah, and I see that the energy around you here is one where you know what's going around you, you know where other people are coming from, you know, there's just this energy of knowing, and that brings this sense of being able to rise above, because you see, you recognize, you're able to filter whatever people bring to you through this lens of knowing. And that brings you great strength, because I don't feel like anyone can bring you down once you've reached that high point. You don't get to that point and then get mired back down. No, I feel that you're always going to be there now with that Ten of Swords, and it feels really good. It feels like you're coming from a place of no fear. Like people can't play on your fears anymore. So anyone who's tried to play on your fears, your insecurities, if anything here, if you've been around anyone, Sagittarius, who has tried to defeat you by making you playing on your fears, then I feel it's not going to work. It's not going to work anymore, because you see and you know where that's coming from, so you're not going to get triggered by it anymore, which I think is fabulous. And you know what, it is the uncharted sea for you, because you haven't been down that road before. But if you follow that inner compass, that inner guide that comes from that place of knowing who you are, knowing your strengths, and knowing that a lot of this darker energy around you from other people comes from that shadow side, and knowing that your triggers come from this shadow side as well, I think you'll be able to see this. You'll be able to see it from that perspective of not being fearful of going. I feel like it's for some of you it's a fear of not being alone, fear of being alone. Not fearing that anymore, not fearing taking risks. It feels instead like I'm looking at that pelican, and if you think about the pelicans, they're out there and they're on these stormy seas, and they don't let it faze them. They just kind of go with the flow. It feels, and when it gets too stormy, well, what do? They take to the sky, So this is kind of like you taking to the sky when things get too stormy and rising above, seeing it from that higher perspective. Wow, Sagittarius, I'm going to leave it there and wish you all the very best with this. If you'd like a personal reading, you can email me, gypsyinsights@gmail.com. Please do like, share and subscribe if you're a newcomer. I would love to have you. Please do check out my new channel memberships as well. For information, you can click on the join button below. I'm offering perks. You can join at the $4.99 level, and that way you'll get early access to all of my YouTube readings. Not only that, but you'll also get them all at the same time, and that way there'll be no waiting. Thanks for my podcast listeners for listening. If you'd like to check out my YouTube channel, I have many more readings and you can check me out there. Gypsy Insights by Michelle is the name of the channel. Wishing you the best here, Sagittarius. Please take care, and bye for now. Thanks for watching.